everyone. My name is Olamide Dada, and this month of November is the International Men's Month. The theme for this year's International Men's Month is the relation between men and women. But for this video, we're going to be focusing on mental health, relationships, and grief. So we have our very own from YFC. Can you introduce yourself?
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. My name is Opemipo Akinleye, and I am a protocol in YFC.
Okay, so Opa, what do you do for a living?
What do I do for a living? I am a part-time student. I also work at Capital Field, an investment company, and I do some trading from side to side.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
So for this interview, we're going to be focusing on mental health, relationships, and grief. So first, we're going to look at mental health. Okay, so what does mental health mean to you?
To me, mental health, like physical health, it pertains of taking a lot of care of your, well-being, physically, mentally, emotionally, right? It's very important to have that balance on all spheres so that, mentally one can be, healthy per se.
Right. Okay, so have you ever struggled with your mental health?
I would say so. I don't want to form like Iron Man that I don't have feelings, right?
Yeah.
I like to believe that a lot of people have struggled with their mental health one time or the other.
Right.
But particularly, I would say that anxiety has been an issue for me in the past. I tend to be the person that likes to always have a plan for myself and always like to, go according to schedule. Right. And if, something may be, late or not according to plan, I tend to, overreact or have a bad way of handling it.
Right.
Hence the anxiety. I'm always thinking about what is going to happen next in the future, right? But how I was able to overcome that anxiety was obviously, number one, I prayed about it. I talked to God about it. Yes, I expressed my, need to overcome this issue, right? And once I prayed about it, God always has a way of doing His thing, right? So He then gave me the patience and the ability to calm down and accept things for what they are, right? So that was how I was able to get over it.
Okay, that's good. All right. I'm happy that you got over it. So let's talk about 2020. 2020 was a very hard year for most of us.
Most definitely.
Even with the lockdown. So now, how did you handle the lockdown?
Well, I would say my family played a very important role in the lockdown. In the early stages of the lockdown, I was in school, right? But because there was so much uncertainty, I felt like, and my family felt like, being with each other and surrounded by each other is the primary goal at this point in time, because anything could have happened, right? Even today, as we are years into, after the pandemic, we're still hearing one news or the other regarding coronavirus. Right. So I would say my family, being surrounded by my family and also being very close to God also helped me, get past such a terrible year.
So wait, did your mental health deteriorate in the lockdown?
Almost definitely. Imagine a kind of person that always likes to be outdoors, that is always active doing one thing or the other.
That must have been a lot.
Right, and now you are confined into a particular space, right? That took a toll on me, definitely. I had to assimilate into the new way of living. And obviously it did take some time, but at first it wasn't easy. Right,
that's good. So, how do you think we can, because mental health isn't talked about a lot, especially in Nigeria. There's sort of like a stigma around those who actively seek help, and they are tagged as crazy. Things are getting better, but how do you think, have you ever experienced something like this?
I wouldn't just say in Nigeria, but generally speaking, as a man, right, the expectation is to, chest and bottle things up, and it happens to men, you should handle it, we have other things to worry about. But I feel like that is one of the most unhealthy ways to handle situations like this, right? For men, I feel that although it is the status quo for us to be strong, we should also feel comfortable and open to talk to, whether it's our family, whether it's our friend, whether it's a therapist, right? We need to open that avenue, open that space up so that, you know, there can be transparency in that area. Right?
That's good. So for other guys, just for other guys who don't find it easy expressing themselves and they want to, how do you take care of your mental health? Like, what's your escape? What do you need to do?
Well, for me, every time I work out and I do some exercise, I always feel better, right? I don't know the science behind it, but I know there's some, you know, serotonin, melatonin, all that stuff. But every time I work out, I feel great, right?
Right.
So just, I guess, focusing on myself, right? Everybody has their own ideology of who they want to be and what they are, right? So doing the things that better myself as a person, like working out, picking up a book to read that can benefit me, listening to some podcasts, eating the right food, and obviously having the right people around me, whether it's friends, family, or, you know, whoever, right? I feel like those are key factors into bettering your mental health, most definitely.
Right. So do you like spending time with family and friends?
Oh yeah, a lot.
You do? Because, you know, sometimes people don't enjoy, some people don't have the best relationship with their family. It's sometimes hard to understand them, even as we grow. You know, their changes, their opinions you now have individually. So it's not going by what somebody told you anymore. It's now more of a personal thing. What do you think about that? How do you think we should handle things like this better?
Well, I can't speak for everybody, unfortunately, because we all come from various backgrounds and upbringings, right? But what I will promote is, irrespective of how, you know, for instance, if you're living with your parents and you want to be closer with them and have conversation with them, I think, you know, the more you do something, the more understanding or the more lenient your parents may be with such topics, right?
Absolutely.
So I feel like consistency is key, right? Even though you may be scared or you may be uncomfortable talking to your parents about certain topics, you should just shoot for it, right? Because at the end of the day, it's to build a relationship, not also that, but to also help yourself being able to talk about, you know, things like this.
So, you know, of course, there's this this pressure that's been put on guys to be a man and do this, and men don't cry. So how can we work to put an end to this societal pressure? What do you think we can do?
I mean, by seeing more men openly express themselves, right? Not just regular men. I mean, men that are in the limelight that you and I and the next person may be seeing on, whether it's social media, radio platforms, any type of outlets, right? I feel like these people, I mean, they don't necessarily need to come, but seeing them, these men, openly express themselves will show the public that, hey, this is okay to be like this, it's okay to talk like this, it's okay to discuss certain things, right? So that's what I would say.
That's good. Now, we don't, like I said before, we don't talk about mental health a lot, but how do you think we can support men with mental health struggles? Because we don't do it enough. How do you think we can support them?
Well, in this part of the world, I would say we should start off by having, you know, regular discussions, therapy, right?
Right.
I don't want anyone to think like going to therapy is a bad thing, right? Therapy is actually beneficial irrespective of if you're in a good place or you're in a bad place, right? Just having somebody to talk to that can guide you to come to different conclusions about yourself, and you know, the environment around you is very important, right? So yeah, having regular therapy, talking about things that we men usually don't talk about, and I think that's at first should be, you know, the starting ground. Then we can work our way up into, you know, different therapeutic activities.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Now let's get into relationships very quickly. So are you in a relationship?
As of now, I am not in a relationship.
Have you ever been in a relationship?
Yes, I've been in a relationship in the past.
Okay. Now I want to ask, because we're African, right? Do you ever feel compelled to get married?
I wouldn't say compelled, and I'm talking like realistically speaking right now. I feel like in life, you know, especially when you're living by yourself and you're in the process of finding your career path, I feel like it is just normal for these things to just fall in line in terms of meeting the right person for you, and eventually, if time permits and if that is the will of God, for you to get married as well.
Right.
But personally, I am in no rush to get married. I'm waiting for the right person, and once God gives me that right person, I believe all else will fall into play. But as for now, I'm focusing on myself. I feel like if I focus on myself and the betterment of myself, you know, that person, that one for me, will be waiting for me.
Right. So have you ever been in a relationship where you felt like your mental health was suffering for it?
No, I tend to, anything that will cause me mental strain, whether it's a relationship with someone else or whether it's a friendship or whether it's just an interaction, random interaction, I feel like I just distance myself before it even happens. I have a way of telling that, okay, something's about to happen,
Right.
so let me just take myself out of the scenario before I get to that peak,
Right.
until my cup runs over, you understand?
So that's for you. How do you think guys like you can avoid mental health strains and struggles?
In the relationship.
Yes, in relationships, different relationships.
Well, I would say just it depends on the dynamic of the relationship. It depends on the individual,
Right.
right? But before getting into a relationship, what I would advise is for you to know yourself. Know yourself, know
that's a
your
good point.
know your tendencies,
Right.
know what you're prone to do, know how you are when you get angry, know how you are when you're happy,
Right.
Understand yourself before committing to another person, right?
Right.
Because when you're with another individual, the goal is to make each other happy. I would assume so, right? So if that's not happening, if your happiness isn't prioritized, it wouldn't be advisable to still remain in that, relationship or situation.
That's good. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Do you have any words for guys like you that are scared of, speaking up about their mental health struggles because they don't want to be looked upon as weak?
What I would like to say is, we're all human beings. No matter how macho of a man you are, you still experience emotions that every human being does. So what is left now is just to find the right outlet to express those feelings instead
Right.
of bottling it up inside, right? So I would just say, take it easy, take it one step at a time. Find somebody you can talk to, find someone you can have, delicate conversations with, and at the end of the day, be free. Because at the end of the day, one day we will no longer be here, so you don't want to have any regrets of bottling certain things up or not, what ifs, or what if I had done this, or what if I had, gone about the situation another way. Just be free, be open, and your mental health should improve.
Thank you so much for your time, Ope. And that is it. Mental health, you should never be ashamed of your mental health. It's fine. It's okay to get help. You should always seek help whenever you need it. And you shouldn't look down on those who also need help. Instead, help them, pray for them, guide them, let them seek help from the right authorities, and all will be well. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you.
At YFC, we train and transform followers to responsible leaders and leaders to agents of positive influence. Our God is able.